WoW Classic Fresh servers are now live, and lots of us are jumping back into Azeroth to experience the classic journey all over again. And as we level back to 60, I wanted to go over some of the best add-ons to help you level faster, easier, and give the most quality of life. So let's get straight into it. First up, the What's Training add-on. Classic is a long game. Something as simple as going back to town for your spells can be something you need to work out. Say you hit level 18 and you're in the middle of nowhere. Is it worth the time to go back to your trainer for those few spells, or should you wait till 20 and go get them all at once? Well, with What's Training, you can go into your spellbook, click at the bottom, and it will say, what can I train? And you can see what's next, and then what's after that, and you can just sort of plan out when you're going to go back and get your spells. Sometimes it might be worth just skipping a set of abilities, like if it's some utility or a damage boost to a spell you don't normally use, it might be worth just staying in the zone and just getting a few more levels, and then going back and getting them with everything else. You can also track pet abilities here, which is great for warlocks and hunters if there are certain big damage abilities that you're trying to keep leveled and trying to keep on top of. Next one is a popular one that most people probably already have, but I want to mention it just in case you haven't used it yet, and it's Questie. Whether you choose to use a leveling guide or a leveling planner, Questie is still an add-on I would recommend. Questie gives you quest locations and details of all the quests in an area. So say you get to a city, you can see, or a town, you can see all the quests that are there. You can also see the details of these quests too, such as what the rewards are, what the requirements are, and you can see the progress of anyone in your party. So say it's a hand-in for a certain amount of items, you can see what everyone in your party has. Because yeah, questing in Classic WoW, it was hard, it was rough. There's lots of traveling around, there's lots of weird quests that are just scattered around the map, and you might have one where it's like, oh, bring me this, and you just came from there. So you could get it first and take it to them in advance. It just helps you plan, especially if you're not using a leveling guide, a leveling planner, but even if you are, it's still really helpful just to keep on top of where everything is. Next is a massive one that I would highly recommend, and that is Leatrix Maps. This add-on gives you a dim outline of the entire world without it just being like fogged that you have to go and discover. It shows a little arrow as well of where all these maps connect. So if you're not that confident on how to get around, you can see how all the different maps connect, and clicking on them will jump you to that next map. It shows you where the spirit healers are, where the dungeons are, where the raids are, and it has a drop-down menu at the top so you can manually select which zone you want to look at. So say you hit a certain level and you go, oh, where do I need to go next? Oh, I need to go over here, and it's at the other side of Azeroth. You can just click the drop-down menu, look where it is, you can see what boats go there. It's just really helpful. Even after like, I don't know, what has it been like 20 years? I don't know. I still get confused on where the docks go and which side I need to be on. So yeah, I find this add-on really helpful. It's a small thing, but when you need it, it's massive. So yeah, Leatrix Maps. Next up, a combat add-on that is important to pretty much every single class, OmniCC. OmniCC adds a cooldown timer to every ability, item, and equipment piece in the game. So you can keep track of abilities, defensives, and just play better. Simple things like 2 to 3 second cooldown timers on abilities or on like the global cooldown just really helps with like timing your auto attacks, timing your turns, and timing your positioning. Helps you just play better, in my opinion. It helps you with buffs and debuffs as well, and just tracking when things are running low, when things are going to run out, and keeping better uptime on things. I will throw an honorable mention here to Weapon Swing Timer. That's a different add-on. This add-on goes one step further for melee classes and times the exact second your weapons will hit. That's also a pretty good one. Really important for, hard mobs, PvP, anything that requires good timing on your abilities. But overall, I think OmniCC is more of an all-round good starting point of how to get on top of ability timings and using things at the best time. Okay, now for a leveling guide. If you're leveling in Classic WoW, I highly recommend a leveling guide unless you're a pro or you want to play on hard mode. And I personally would recommend GuideLime. You get the GuideLime add-on, and then you get the leveling route add-on kind of attachment to that. I'm personally using the Sage Alliance 1 to 60 add-on, and both of these add-ons are completely free. There's no point where it stops you and says, hold on a minute, you pay to see more. No, I've used GuideLime for years and it has always been free. So I can't suggest that enough. GuideLime gives you a list of quests on the right side, updates them when you've done them automatically, tracks you to the next one. You can skip certain steps if you want to, and it will warn you if you're skipping a quest in a big chain. So it's really helpful to give you more, management of your own leveling experience. It gives you a big arrow if you want to go to the next location. You can turn that on if you want. It even gives you tips of when to learn your spells or items nearby that you can buy for your class, such as telling warlocks to go and grab water if they hit a new level, or telling warriors if a vendor nearby sells a really strong two-handed sword. I will say, it's not as sleek and polished as something like Rested XP. It doesn't look as cool, but it's free. and it works, and it's reliable. I've used this for years, and I can't recommend it enough. So yeah, that's my recommended leveling guide of choice. Okay, finally, Auctionator. Lots of people think this add-on is for auction goblins that want to sit in the auction house all day and make tons and tons of gold rather than playing the game. And it is, it kind of is, but it also does the opposite. This add-on helps you spend less time in the auction house if that's what you want. So what you do is, next time you're at the auction house, you press this button here and you do a full scan. You full scan the auction house, and you can then build up like knowledge of the auction house, of what everything is selling for. And then you don't need to keep going back here to see the price of things. So say if you're out in the world and you're questing and a green item drops, or you get some material like leather from a chest, you can hover over it and see what that item is selling for. Sometimes it's better just to vendor an item, other times it's better to save it for the auction house. So this just helps you know what to do with the items you're finding. It also lets you know if some random weird item you find is worth loads and loads of gold because it's needed for a quest, or some weird crafting thing that you don't know about. It does other things as well, like lets you list things instantly just by clicking sell, and it will just list it at the most competitive price. Overall, if you just want to get out there and play the game, I find Auctionator just saves you time. It just saves you time and gives you more knowledge of the things you're doing. Lastly, just a really quick one, some sort of bag add-on. Everyone should probably have some sort of bag add-on if you want to change from the classic multi-bags opening one at a time. I really like BetterBags. It's really nice. It sections each of your bags into groups. So you have like consumables, equipment, scrappable items to sell, things like that. So it's really useful. And then has a separate slot showing how many free inventory spaces you have left. So it's really sleek. It's really nice. There's a theme as well for it. Like this one here you see is like all black. I really like this. It's just really nice. And you just have this little black bar in the bottom of your screen when you open your inventory, rather than like having 6 bags that all open at once, all up the side of your inventory. I prefer it like this. But yeah, if you do want to keep the classic feel, go for it. If you are looking for a bag add-on, this is one I really like. But yeah, that's pretty much the 7 add-ons I would really, really recommend if you're jumping into these classic fresh servers. I've got all of these on all the time. And there are others for certain classes I have on, but generally for everything, I have all these as like standard. But yeah, if there's any others you'd really recommend, let me know down below. If you have any alternatives to these, let me know. But that's it from me. Thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying classic, what are we calling it? Classic Fresh? Classic WoW Anniversary Edition? I don't know. Classic Fresh is what I've been calling it. Hope you're enjoying it. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.